Finally, we get some more extraterrestrial and UFO content. I'm excited. Let's go.
I read a classified report, and I don't know if it's real or not, that said it wasn't a crash landing. They were having mechanical problems, and it was a controlled crash landing. Are you allowed to talk about that, first of all?
Well,
because I know you did a big thing.
Yeah, we did a major investigation. Our group, the Advanced Working Group, did a major investigation on that. We had 11 people, all retired federal agents or intelligence officers, out there for weeks and weeks at a time, interviewing the family members in Spanish. We had Spanish-speaking investigators. And we came to the conclusion, looking at some of the film that hasn't been released, that they won't release now, but we did see it.
That's a good sign.
That these things were not human. They were definitely not human. The pictures that we saw, and I wasn't out there, but our other people were out there, looked like extraterrestrials. The typical extraterrestrials that were non-human, but they were really tall. They were
very tall. Yes.
Yeah, 8 to 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
And another thing that has never been released is the property directly to the east had a camera. In their backyard, and one of the creatures came over his fence, hit a swimming pool, and picked up water out of that swim, or did something with water. You can't really see what it was doing, but it was kneeling down. It wasn't drinking the water, but it looked like they were putting water in some kind of a container.
I saw it.
But those things, they were not human.
No.
The way he jumped, the way it jumped up, based on that lamp post that was in the back, which was like 6 foot tall, it was at least 2 feet taller than that. So that's, you're talking at, 8 to 10 feet tall.
And the fence was 6 feet.
Right.
Yes.
Jumped over
easily
and went back.
Right.
And then it did something to either repair itself and then took off and landed over in Lake Mead. A large military presence was over there. We tracked it. We talked to people camping out there. You see these military convoys pulling up. What are they doing out there? And then the story drops. Why did the United States government obtain a FISA warrant to search their property? Why did they surreptitiously go in, the government, and put cameras up in there? Well, this is after the fact. And why did a man who was supposed to be a high voltage electrician who was driving around that night, and people saw him, in fact, other doorbell cameras seen this truck with a company name on it. I think it was Spurlock Corporation. And there's no such company. This guy that went to a number of different houses, he was up on a telephone pole. And this is before the incident happened. And now they can't find the guy. They can't find the company. It's not licensed anywhere in Nevada. Some people say they've seen that truck going out towards Rachel, probably Area 51.
I heard this, yes.
And so now you put all this together, and this is a major cover-up by the United States government. Something happened involving extraterrestrials. Now, there's two different stories here. One story is that this thing, or these entities, lived out in Area 51. They lived out there, and they were going to demonstrate this craft to us, but then something happened, and they had to land and repair it in some way.
That's what I heard, yes.
And then it took back off, and another problem. And the second story is that it was something that came in because there's a radar site over near Baker, California, FAA site that tracked that thing all the way over to North Las Vegas. So what do you want to believe? Now, that might have been a story generated by the United States government as disinformation, but that's the confusing part of this. And now the people are gone. They don't live there anymore.
Get them out of here and changed their names. They relocated them. What's the SDART protocol for that? What would it be today, if you can go over that really quick?
It would have been for the team out of Nellis, which was the closest team, obviously, just a few miles away, actually, to respond and connect with the North Las Vegas Police or Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and coordinate a recovery operation. But the problem there is that although there were OSI agents that were at that scene 45 minutes after those two officers arrived, there's two OSI agents, and we know who their names are, and we know they were stationed out of Nellis Air Force Base. They responded there again, 45 minutes after, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's fast.
Yeah, exactly. So how did they know? Well, as we understand, going back to the chain of events, the dispatcher, somebody in the dispatch office, the central dispatch for Las Vegas, told one of the dispatchers, call Nellis Air Force Base and brief them on this to see if they tracked it or something.
Mm-hmm.
So she did. She called Nellis Command Post, and then 45 minutes later, 2 OSI agents were on scene.
Incredible. Yeah.
So if this wasn't anything, this
No,
wasn't
this
nothing,
wasn't
if this was just a hoax, OSI agents wouldn't have responded. They were both out of the Special Projects Branch. And why would they respond out of something that was a hoax? They wouldn't. They would respond when something was real. And they notified the SDART.
Right.
But unfortunately, before the SDART ever got there, that's the thing that the craft had taken back off.
Yes.
And flew over towards Lake Mead.
Right.
Now, as I understand, the SDART team did go over there because it was spotted over there on radar, but it didn't crash over there. It landed on the shore, landed on some little island out in the middle of Lake Mead to do something like maybe get water or we don't know, and took back off, and it was tracked on radar all the way past Houston, Texas. So it was flying in the southeast for some reason at great altitudes. And another thing that the FAA at McCarran, or Harry Reid Airport now it's called, they tracked something that came from 65,000 feet down to 2,000 feet in a matter of a few seconds. Now, we don't have anything like that. We have no aircrafts that I know of, and pilots have seen this information.
Nothing.
We showed them. Can you descend in 3 seconds? No, you can't do it. Kill us.
Right.
So how did they do that? And was it the same craft? That's the problem. We don't know if that was the same craft or the craft that landed in that backyard was a different craft. But there was something that descended that quick at the same time period that was tracked on radar.
I was there the following day, and it was swamped. And they were already installing cameras down that road and in the backyard, military cameras. Rick, we talked about these 8 to 10 feet beings. Now, I read some things in the report. What's your take on the craft size that was in the backyard?
It's about 20 foot high. So it was twice the size, but it wasn't very big.
It was very slender.
Craft. Very slender, like it was a two occupant craft. There were 2 occupants in it that came out, and they were, one was filmed from a distance, but the other one had jumped over that fence. You could see it plain as day on that camera. And so they weren't large beings.
Right.
They were skinny but tall.
Very tall.
And the craft was the same. So it was probably just 2. It was maybe a scout ship or some kind of observation or reconnaissance ship.
And we have to understand the different types of physics. The craft size doesn't matter. And you've seen this before, where you have beings that are very large and the craft is really small, and it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense because it changes your atomic structure.
Exactly, and there's a classical example of this a doctor put up, who I used to work for, wrote about the fact that the exterior of the craft doesn't mean anything.
Nothing.
If you look on the outside of the craft, it could be 10 feet wide, but you look inside, it's the size of a football field.
Correct.
How can that happen? He explains in details how that can occur. And with our physics, that could happen.
It's amazing. Yeah.
What? I ain't never heard nothing like that before. As I'm sitting here listening to this, I can't help but to think that I was right. I was right when I said the aliens are coming. They're coming. And now we got to recap what it is exactly that they're talking about. Let's roll the tapes.
A mysterious fireball lights up the Las Vegas night sky, and it's all caught on a cop's body cam. Moments later, 16-year-old Angel Kenmore frantically calls 911, telling the operator that something from out of this world was in his backyard.
It has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
This the dispatcher that phoned in to the you-know-who's about the situation.
Correct, and they're very large. 9 feet, 10 foot. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes, they have big eyes, and they're not humans. 100% they're not humans.
In this world exclusive, Angel and his family are telling only Inside Edition what happened that night.
You're outside, you're working on a truck.
and then you see a light, and then you hear a noise.
Yep.
So I mean, you start looking off in the distance.
Yeah, from here, like I just saw, the light fall down right here.
Angel says he saw two creatures and was paralyzed with fear. When cops arrived, they didn't know what to make of this bizarre situation and approached the house with caution.
I have butterflies, bro. And these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
Angel told them the same story he's now telling Inside Edition.
Did you see it?
Yeah, me and him saw it.
Dad Bobby, Mom Concha, and brother Joshua backed up Angel's claims, saying they saw the same creatures.
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
Cops took the call seriously and left these parting words with Angel and his family.
If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself.
They began canvassing the neighborhood.
This might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky?
As the story gathered worldwide attention,
check out what was spotted over the skies of Las Vegas.
Nothing was heard from the Kenmore family until now.
Do you believe that these creatures were human?
They were not human.
What color were they?
Like green, gray.
We asked them to draw what they saw.
To the best of your ability, draw what you recall. Don't look at each other. Just focus on your own pad and try from your memory to draw a picture of the creature that you saw. This is what you drew, and describe this. What is this? And what are these?
These are, they look like ears, but they have like they look like antenna, like light.
And large eyes?
Large eyes, a lot of teeth.
No nose?
No nose, no.
Describe this if you can.
This is what I saw. The light was beside him.
Yeah.
I've tried to make the skin color. The skin tone had one of the...
I've never seen this before, y'all. They're all pretty much drawing the same depiction of like the general alien that we know of as kids. Like, yo, my mind is blown right now. I believe them. I believe everything them guys said in the last video, and I believe everything that they're saying. I don't care.
They look bent.
4 months since that mysterious night, the Kenmores say they are still haunted by whatever was lurking in their backyard.
Alright, they used a drone shot right here. They could have muted the sound of the drone propellers to make the clip look that more official. But they relocated this family to what? Protect them, or so that they can go and do some more investigations? I feel like that whole idea around these particular aliens being the Area 51 and they were doing some sort of display of the maneuvers of their spacecraft, and they ended up landing in near these people's backyard. I feel like that's not the right answer. I feel like the right answer is these aliens came from outer space. I don't feel like that's the truth. And the reason being is because why relocate this family? Why go to the site and do all this investigation? Why do all of that if you already know everything you need to know about these aliens? I feel like these are fresh new beings that came from another planet. Look, I believe it. Aliens are real. Yo, they literally saw this guy maybe with some antennas in their backyard. That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, this family is lucky. I can't wait to see some aliens.
You guys are not gonna like this. A giant Pentagon report was just released that detailed the US government's involvement with UAPs. This did include the results of witness reports to Congress, the classified ones. There is a lot of stuff in this report, and they acknowledge that many UAP reports remain unsolved or unidentified, but of the ones that they were able to investigate, there was no evidence of extraterrestrial activity. This is only the executive summary, and I appreciate the way everything's laid out. It's claim and then explanation. And they analyzed unclassified and classified programs, informations, documents, and witness testimony. In some cases, witnesses had heard and testified about real classified government programs. However, because they were never involved in them, they really had just heard rumors about what had happened and incorrectly attributed that to aliens. But there was no extraterrestrial activity involved at all. This report is the first time I've seen them address so many claims and so many programs. This report is dense. It's going to take you a long time to get through, so before you judge it from this video, go read it. And in my opinion, I really enjoy the way they laid it out. Here's the claim, here's how we investigated it, here's the conclusion. Very straightforward. I actually enjoyed that. This is the most comprehensive government-wide review ever of classified and unclassified U.S. government documents related to UFOs. And if you're typing a comment getting mad at me, I didn't write this.
If you guys would like for me to go through and search and research every last one of these documents and programs and read them right here on this channel, comment down below, please do. And I'm gonna make that video, because this sounds fascinating, I ain't gonna lie.
Well, that brings us to the next question, is basically, why are these, non-terrestrial crafts, or let's just say these non-human terrestrial crafts, crashing on Earth?
Well, that's a good question. There's a lot of different opinions by scientists and aeronautical engineers of why they crash. And one of the theories is that when an extraterrestrial craft flies from wherever they're coming from into our atmosphere, there's things in our atmosphere, such as the Van Allen belt, and our atmosphere
Moisture.
that contains things that they don't have on their planet. And when they come in, it affects their control systems. And they realize now they're in trouble. They either try to do a control crash or a control landing, or their mechanisms for flight just becomes inoperative, and then they crash. And that's what their theory is. But again, we're dealing with technology that's more advanced than we are, coming from a different planet that maybe light years away from us. And we don't understand their technology. And so it's really difficult for our scientists. And they do analyze it. They try to at the scene. But one of the things that works against us is, number one, we don't have a voice recorder that we can bring out and look at the data. We don't have equipment that can scan their avionics equipment. And in some cases, we can't even find their avionics equipment. We don't even know what it's made of. And so that's the difficulties we have. That's the mountain that we have to climb to try to figure out how these things crash.
This hater left a comment saying any advanced civilization that travel in these crafts are not going to have mechanical problems they can't deal with. Give me a break. So this simple human being think that just because an advanced civilization is so much smarter than we are, potentially so much smarter than we are, that they can't have mechanical problems? Like, don't be that ignorant. Don't be that ignorant.
It's interesting. Jeremy, I want to talk to you for a second. The Pentagon's UFO chief, this is a Pentagon guy, a UFO chief, the chairman of Harvard's astronomy department as well, both releasing a report on Tuesday where they wrote an artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth. You've got the Pentagon talking about the idea of a mothership going above us and sending probes down.
I really feel like they're trying to prepare us for something, because something's on the way. It may or may not be aliens, but something's coming. I feel it. I know we all feel it. If you agree, comment down below. You feel like something's on the way. All right, it's time to take a quick commercial break. This video is sponsored by me, Artofkickz. Yeah, I just want to let y'all know that the Aliens Are Real shirts are still available on the website for a limited time, as well as the blankets. The blankets, there's about 30 of them left. Y'all better snatch them up before they're gone, because once they're gone, I'm not bringing them back. I did it once, I ain't doing it again. Anyway, back to the video.
Imagine all those alien movies. Imagine like those were like based off of something. Like the government knows like which aliens that they've encountered, and they make them into movies so like we're prepared.
I thought about that too.
Like imagine The Quiet Place, bro. Imagine that alien real. Imagine like the aliens from Alien vs. Predator real.
Bruh, nah. See, why he gotta bring up them two? Because we literally just got a new The Quiet Place movie that just came out, and then a new Aliens versus Predator. Well, it's an Aliens movie, and the new Alien movie coming out too. But if we got the ones from The Quiet Place coming, then none of us stand a chance. Them the last aliens I want to deal with.
be OD, but like at least we know what to do.
That's a little much. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think we know what to do with that.
Cause I heard like a lot of like the actors in like Hollywood, they say they see a lot of CIA agents.
Really? Okay, but I'm trying to think. You gotta think about it this way. Look, if it's like the Quiet Place, unless there's different type of aliens.
That's what I'm saying. There's probably different types of aliens.
Right? Yeah, because them don't got brains.
Now they're just like animals. Like imagine that type of alien was a thing, but they the one soul one, or they found like fossils of one, and now they're like, you know, we gotta prepare the people just in case they come back. Imagine they got stuff like that. We never know.
Damn, bro.
Like they know every species, bro. I heard there's like a lot. Supposedly there's a lot of
different species of aliens.
Yeah, I heard there's species of aliens that look like Scandinavian people, like white people.
Really?
Like they look just like humans.
Really?
So there's like, dang, like they could really like live amongst us for real.
I just thought about something even more messed up. You know the aliens from Alien vs. Predator? What if those aliens came down and then they got these pet aliens that are like the aliens from The Quiet Place, and they just sick them on us like dogs? Oh, Lord. We'll be screwed.
Sometimes there are secrets that need to be kept secret. But this particular issue is so important to you. Sometimes there are secrets that need to be kept secret. But this particular issue is so important to you as citizens of this country and as citizens of the human race, members of the human race, and citizens of this planet, that there's nothing more important than that, and I purposely and intentionally violate my oath with a good feeling because I believe that not only do you people have a need to know, you have a right to know, because you're the ones that are paying the bills. And I'm a believer in the constitutional system. I see the constitutional system being stomped upon. I see that document, which is so precious to us, being ignored. And the time has come for we, the people of this country, to reclaim our rights, reclaim our Constitution, and damn well force the government that we are supporting and paying the bills for to own up, fess up, and finally, after over 40 years, tell us the damn truth about this issue. I think I'm preaching to the choir here, and it's a good feeling. Thank you. It's also important that you understand who I am and where I came from and how I came to be here. I spent most of my adult life as a professional soldier. I spent 27 years on active duty in the United States Army. And for most of those years, I was in the infantry. I was in special operations, special assignments. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a fact that I have been places I should not have been, and I have done things I should not have done.
Tell us.
But I served my country loyally, and I still believe in my country, and I love my country, and I love the Constitution. And that's frankly the primary reason I'm here. When they published it in 1964, I said there was only 15 copies. Copy number one went to the Secretary General of NATO. Copy number two went to General Lyman Lemnitzer, who was the Supreme Allied Commander. Copy number 3 was assigned to the Shock Operations Center, and that's the one I got a chance to read over and over and over again. The other copies were distributed throughout the military headquarters to major military commanders from the various nations. There were copies in French and German and in English. But what was this document that stirred so much up there in shape in 1964? Let me tell you basically what the major conclusions were. Number 1, and this is a real grabber. The planet Earth, and apparently the entire human race, is and has been the subject of an extensive, intensive, and massive survey and examination by several, remember, several, extraterrestrial high-technology civilizations. And this survey has been extremely thorough and detailed. That almost blows you out of your chair right there.
What?
Number 2, these civilizations have demonstrated not only high intelligence, but an extremely advanced technology that may possibly be hundreds, if not thousands of years beyond our own. Evidence collected and studied by this report indicates that there is apparently some kind of a process or a plan unfolding. They, whoever they are, continually demonstrate that the development of some kind of program is underway. And over the last 40 years, you can see this developing. You can see this process taking place. It's very clear for those of us who spent most of our lives looking at it. Evidence in this report leads to the conclusion that this survey or program has been going on for a very long time, possibly several thousand years. My personal view is it's been going on a lot longer than that, and I'll explain to you why I feel that. Military intelligence analysis have concluded there did not appear to be a major military threat involved. The conclusions seem to indicate that if they were either malevolent or hostile, that there was absolutely nothing that we could do at that time. And I have to tell you very honestly, there's absolutely nothing we can do at this time.
Oh, look, I'm telling y'all. I just got scared. But this concludes what we were just talking about from the other clips. I never even watched this. I didn't know what to expect from this. So this is like scaring me a little bit more because like I said before, they're preparing us for something. And I'm 100% sure that not a single one of us on this planet is going to like the change that can happen from this thing that they're trying to prepare us for. It's going to be scary. I'm not ready. Can y'all wait until after the current generation and maybe the next 2 generations pass on, please? Thank you.
Shape and NATO policy dictates that an ongoing study continues by the various military committees and that as many resources as possible by the major powers be committed to this matter. The entire subject is considered to be of the highest importance and extremely sensitive, and that this committee recommends that the highest level of classification be placed upon this matter, if approved by SECURE, to be above top secret, above cosmic top secret, which is what they did.
This kind of takes me back to the extraterrestrial UAP debriefing that we saw with Congress. Y'all remember that? There's stuff out here that's so top secret that even some of our world leaders don't even know about. And if they don't know about it, then of course they're going to make it seem like, this isn't real. This is a bunch of baloney.
He said to me, he says, we all know that Marilyn Monroe didn't die of an overdose.
Boop, boop, be doo.
What? He said, do you know why they killed Marilyn?
Mr. President, the late Marilyn Monroe.
And I said, well, I didn't until I got this document.
Did this fool say the late Marilyn Monroe while Marilyn Monroe was on the stage with him? What kind of mess is that?
And I said, well, I didn't until I got this document. It's a virtual death warrant because she was found a couple days later. 3 August 1962, wiretap of telephone conversations between reporter Dorothy Kilgallen, who was looking into Roswell and other UFO issues, and her close friend Howard Rothberg, from wiretap of telephone conversation of Marilyn Monroe and Attorney General Bobby Kennedy. Rothberg discussed the apparent comeback of the subject with Kilgallen and the breakup with the Kennedys. This is referring to the fact that Marilyn Monroe had been having an affair with not one but both Kennedy brothers, and it was becoming conspicuous, so they broke it off. Rothberg indicated in so many words that she had secrets to tell, no doubt arising from her trysts with the president and the attorney general. One such secret mentions the visit of the president at a secret air base for the purpose of inspecting things from outer space. Now, this is 1962. Kilgallen said that if the story is true, it would be a terrible embarrassment for Jack and his plans to have NASA put men on the moon.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
The subject repeatedly called the Attorney General and complained about the way she was being ignored by the president and his brother. Subject threatened to hold a press conference and would tell all. It's a tragic situation because she was an actress. She didn't understand the national security state and the viciousness of those who want to keep these sort of secrets.
Oh, yo. I always believed that Marilyn Monroe was killed and that she had some secret information, but Never in my life would I thought it would have been in regards to the truth about extraterrestrials. What? It's like Dr. Stephen Greer here said, Marilyn Monroe was an actress, so she had no idea the magnitude that releasing this sort of information would have on the threat to our national security. Oh, man, this blew my mind.
You know what NASA's biggest cover-up is? That there's like an alien base on the moon. There was like pictures on the dark side of the moon of like a base. Like it looked like there was towers, but NASA like covered it up. So there was a guy, his name was Carl Wolf. He was in the Air Force. After the people went to the moon, he was invited to come work with NASA and like, you know, be a part of like the program or whatever. Somebody sits him down and he gives him a bunch of pictures of like the dark side of the moon, and he sees like little like structures and stuff, and he's like, oh dang, like we just found out there's like people living on the moon. This is about to be cool. They about to tell the world and whatever. A couple days later, they didn't say nothing to nobody. So he realized, oh, they're trying to cover it up. He's a part of the cover up now. So in 2001, he was like, all right, bro, I'm gonna tell the world. He starts going on talk shows and he starts talking about how NASA is trying to cover up that there's an alien base on the moon. NASA is like photoshopping all their pictures. And he was like, okay, I'm about to go to Congress and talk about like swear on oath or whatever. The dude died riding his bike and he got hit by a Mack truck.
What?
Yes, he died.
Definitely set up.
It's like he never got the chance to speak to Congress.
No, it was planned.
He had some information, and they didn't want it to be released. And really think about it, y'all. Every single time somebody has some valuable information that they can release to the public, and they end up dying before then, 9 times out of 10, they probably had some truth that the government didn't want released. Think about it.
Our most powerful leaders on Earth are actually aliens.
Most scary videos found on the internet.
You can't tell me that guy's not an alien. Straight.
This fool just said our most powerful leaders on Earth are aliens, and then he goes to show this guy who clearly isn't a powerful leader, and just to call him out for being an alien because he looked kind of different.
Out of Men in Black. That's something out of Men in Black.
Bro.
1, 2, and 3.
Bro, really? What are you doing? What are you doing? How you just look at that clip and didn't say nothing about it? What is it about the hands? Why are you not speaking on the hands, man? Those hands are clearly made to look like they're not concealing a weapon. Behind those hands, both of them are holding pew-pews. So what better time than to have your hand already on your weapon? Well, why isn't this guy here not mentioning that? What's next? Yeah, this is odd.
What in the world is going on?
So strange. Why are they looking like that? For him.
I'm telling you, aliens have taken over. Humans are not in charge anymore.
You doing good, Charlotte?
Whether that's good or bad, you need to judge that.
That was horrible acting. Oh my God. And why you throw this clip in here?
Oh no.
Also horrible acting. Also horrible acting. Look at the woman. You ain't gonna protect your child. You just run it off. And then this girl right here, she ran off so slow. Yeah. Bro, what?
Something else is running our world. Thanks for watching. Stay weird.
Okay, that one clip told me that I needed to be getting off TikTok for the rest of the day. Y'all leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. See ya.